Okay, good day everyone. So on today's video I'll be doing a breakdown on the strategy I use and also how I was able to get this particular trades on Euro USD. So let's begin from this point. So if you watch my previous video, I talk about when price is in a particular trend, creating multiple higher highs and higher lows, creating breaks of structure in this direction. And we all know each time price moves in this particular pattern, creating break of structure. So each time price break above every previous high, creates a break of structure. Each time it breaks above every previous high, it creates a break of structure. So, and with this you can see the trend is an uptrend in this kind of pattern. Then also when price push to the downside, creating multiple break of structure to the downside, you can say this can say price is moving in a downtrend. See price creating multiple break of structures to the downside. So for this, you can say this is an uptrend. While for this, you can say this is a downtrend. So, and also when price is moving in this direction, when price is moving in an uptrend, at every previous high, price leaves an order block. So let me just do this instead. Okay, so at every previous high, price leaves an order block, so I will identify that as OB. So every previous high, price leaves an order block. And also at every previous low, price always leaves an order block. Every previous low, price always leaves an order block. Then for a downtrend, each time price moves in a downtrend, at every previous high, price leaves an order block here. Every previous high, price leaves an order block. And also at every previous low, price leaves an order block. And also at every previous low here, price leaves an order block. So this is a quick, like an easy breakdown for you to be able to understand the kind of strategy I use. So, and from the previous video I talked about breaker block. And what did I say about breaker block? I said, okay, let me type it on the screen. I said breaker blocks are order blocks that got violated. Or didn't play out. So let's say like for example, price is moving in this particular trend. See, price is moving in this particular trend. When you see price break, since there's an order block here, once price breaks above this order block, that will let you know the order block is no longer valid. So that order block will automatically change into a breaker block. So this order block will now change into a breaker block, meaning the order block is not valid anymore. So each time price break above every previous high, and you know there's always an order block on every previous high, and once price breaks above every previous high in an uptrend, that order block has automatically turned into a breaker block, and you will see price come back again to retest on top of this breaker block, then push to the upside. So with this kind of pattern, you can be able to take trades. You can be able to get an A setup when price is moving in a particular trend. You can always get an A setup when price is moving in a particular trend. So now this other OB here, you know there's always an OB, an order block at the previous high. Now you see price now push to the upside to break above this OB. Now that OB is no longer valid. The OB has automatically turned into a breaker block. That OB has automatically turned into a breaker block, and you will see price now push to the downside again. You see price now push to the downside again to retest on it, then continue to go higher. So now this order block here automatically turned into a breaker block, meaning the order block is not valid anymore. It's automatically turned into a breaker block. So each time you see price creating multiple break of structure, leaving breaker blocks at every previous high, just know price is gonna retest on that breaker block and keep going higher. So now to know if this particular uptrend won't be valid anymore, to know if this uptrend won't be valid anymore, we see price now, you know there's also an order block here at this previous low. You know there's always an order block at every previous low. So now let's say price push from this direction, then break below this order block here, and from the definition of breaker block, you can see breaker blocks are order block that got violated or didn't play out. Now price broke below this order block, meaning price has automatically violated that order block, and that order block has automatically turned into a breaker block. And what you should expect next is for price to retest on that breaker block, then push to the direction of the breakout. So now this OB now will automatically turn into a breaker block. Then you see price come back again for that OB, then push to the downside again to take out this previous low here, leading to another break of structure. So now this will tell you the uptrend is not valid anymore, and price has automatically moved into a downtrend. Price has automatically moved into a downtrend. And also for this too, if price is moving in a downtrend, you know there's also if price is moving in a downtrend for this particular pattern here, price moving in a downtrend, you know it always leaves an order block at every previous low. Each time price is moving, doing break of structure to the downside, it always leaves an order block at every previous low. So now since price now broke below from this point here, price broke below this OB on the previous low. Now that OB has automatically turned into a breaker block, and you see price now push to the upside again to retest on the OB, then continue going to the downside in the direction of the breakout. So price will continue going in the direction of the breakout. So now this particular OB has automatically turned into a breaker block. Has automatically turned into a breaker block. That's why you see price now. See price push to the downside, come back, retest on this particular OB here, this breaker block, sorry, then continue going to the downside. So this to tell you the trend, the downtrend is still valid. And also for this one here, you can see the OB, there's an order block there. Then you see price now push to the downside, breaking below this OB. So that will automatically tell you the OB, that means that is the order block, has automatically turned into a breaker block. So now let's say the downtrend is still going to continue. You see price now push to the upside, to retest on this breaker block, then continue to go down. So that's how you can always get setups using breaker blocks. Then let's say price move to the upside, and you know from the definition of breaker blocks are other blocks that got violated or didn't play out. So now if price push from this direction, push to the upside to break above this other block here, that other block has automatically turned into a breaker block. So now this OB now will automatically turn into a breaker block, and you see price push to the downside again to retest on top of the OB, that's the other block, then continue to go higher, just like that. So now let's move to the next step, which is strategy part. So from the strategy I use, you know, from this point, since this is the previous high, there will also be an OB in an order block here. There will also be an order block here, and here too there will also be an order block here. So let me move to the strategy part. So if we have price moving in this kind of direction, creating multiple higher highs, let's say price move from this point, then broke above this previous high here, price broke above this previous high. And if you should look on the chart, if you should look on this particular part on the chart, and let's say for example you didn't how will I put it, let's say for example there's you didn't see a breaker block there, for example, let's say you didn't see a breaker block there, for example, price will eventually come down from this point to use the order block at the bottom, then take out this previous high again, push to the upside. And in another case too, let me spot this out. So price will come down for the OB. That's if there's no breaker block at this previous high. If there's no valid breaker block, or price didn't create a breaker block on this previous high, you will see price come down to use only the OB. Price will use the other block at the previous low, then take out previous high. Then in another case, if you see price move in this same direction, and you see price take out this previous high, and price created a breaker block here, and there's a valid breaker block here on the chart. There's a valid breaker block here on the chart, and there's also a valid order block here too. And there's also a valid order block here. What will price do next? You see price come for the breaker block first. Price will first of all retest on top of the breaker block, take out previous high, which is this high here. Price will take out that previous high, then come back again for this other block here before pushing to the upside back. So this is how price will always react if there's an order block or there's a breaker block. Same thing for a downtrend. If price is moving in a downtrend and price broke below this previous low, and from this region here you couldn't spot, or there's no valid breaker block on that point, but there's a valid order block here. You see price now just push to the upside to use that order block, then continue going to the downside, taking out this previous low. Then in the other scenario, if price is moving in a downtrend and you see price break below this previous low, and also after breaking that previous low, there's a valid breaker block here and also a valid order block here. So what we expect price to do next? You see price first of all use the breaker block, take out previous low, and then go back again to use the order block before taking out the final liquidity, creating the final break of structure. So this kind of pattern you can always use. You can always use this pattern when following the trend of the particular pair, or when following the trend of the market. You can always use this pattern. Okay, so now for the other part, which is the I forgot to explain something. So this is the market structure shift. Which simply means price has automatically changed from either a downtrend to an uptrend, or from an uptrend to a downtrend. So this is the market structure shift. So your price has either changed from an uptrend to a downtrend, or from a downtrend to an uptrend. So for when trading the markets, each time you see a market structure shift, say price is moving in this direction, then you see a market structure shift, meaning price broke below this previous low, and that's to tell you the uptrend is not valid anymore. And after the market structure shift, you saw a valid breaker block here and also a valid order block here. So what would you expect next? Expect price now to first of all use the breaker block. Push to the downside, taking out this previous low. Then you see price again come back for this order block before final push to the downside. So most times I don't like using the breaker blocks for my trades. I always like using the breaker block as a form of confirmation, because I use the breaker block as my liquidity, and once an order block is being protected by liquidity, the order block has a high chance to play out. So I always use the order block as my point of interest. I don't like using the breaker blocks most times. So this is the OB. Then I usually use this previous I created, which is the first pullback. That's the first pullback after the first break of structure. This, I always use this as my liquidity, or you can also call it your inducement. So the first pullback after a market, so the first break of structure, the first break of structure created by the first pullback after the market structure shift. I always use the previous high or the previous low created by the break of structure. I always use it as my liquidity. So for a downtrend now, if price is moving in a downtrend, you see a market structure shift, and there's a valid breaker block at this point, and also a valid order block at this point here. So you expect price to first of all use the breaker blocks, they push to the upside, creating a break of structure. Then you see price come back again for the order block before final movement to the upside. So this is the order block. Then this is the breaker block. And this is the break of structure, the first break of structure. And this is my liquidity. I always use this previous high as my liquidity. Then you see price push to the upside, finally creating the final break of structure here. So all this I will show you on the chart, so you'll be able to get them correctly. So now this is also the final break of structure. So for this particular pattern here, I'll be showing you on the chart right now, so you can be able to get what I mean about this. So from this point, let me go to the lower time frame. Go to the 3-minute time frame. Okay. From this point now, you can see price was after this first market structure shift, you saw price pushed back to the upside, retesting on this order block. Since there is no valid breaker block, price used the order block at that previous high. So after the order block there, after the order block, you see price now push to the downside. See price push to the downside, breaking below this previous low, creating a break of structure. So after the break of structure, what next? You have to look for if there's a valid, after the break of structure, you have to look for a valid order block or a valid breaker block that price will probably retest from. So now from this point, let me go to the 5-minute time frame. Okay, from this point now, you can see clearly this is an order block, and that order block price was supposed to retest on top of the order block, then push to the upside, but instead price didn't do that. Price didn't retest on the order block. So instead price broke below this order block. And what did I say about an order block that got violated, or an order block that didn't play out? That order block has automatically turned into a breaker block, and price will probably retest from that breaker block first. So now you see price now push to the upside from this point. After the breakout from here, price broke below this breaker block, this order block, violated the order block and turned into a breaker block. So you see the first break of structure after the violation. Then you see price now push to the upside. If you should trace this back, you see it retested under the order block that got violated. So this is the breaker block. Then you see price now push down again, breaking below this previous low. And now what can you spot from the chart now? if you look closely, if you go back to the 3 minute time frame, I always like using multiple time frames so I can be able to spot my order blocks and breaker block correctly. So now if you push to the move to the 3 minute time frame, you can clearly see the order block here. You can clearly see the order block there. And you see after price used the breaker block, push to the downside, it came back again for the order block. Price came back again for the order block. If you should trace the line back, you see it's retested at the beginning of the order block, then push to the downside, creating the final break of structure. So now from this chart here, since price used that order block to take out this previous low as the final break of structure, so automatically this high is the new previous high. That's the new previous high. So now once price break above this previous high, it has automatically turned into a market structure shift, meaning the downtrend is not valid anymore. It's automatically turned into a market structure shift, and the downtrend is not valid anymore. So now from this point here, and remember what I said on the previous video, you have to observe what price is currently doing and also what price has done on previous charts and previous trade. So now if you observe from this point here, if you should trace that blue line back to this point, we see there's an order block here. How will you be able to spot that order block? That's why it's good to always use multiple time frame. Each time price is moving in a particular trend, always try to use multiple time frame. You don't have to take all your analysis on just a particular time frame. If you are using a 15-minute time frame and you see price moving in a particular trend on 15-minute time frame, always check lower time frames like 5 minutes, 3 minutes for either an order block or a breaker block that price will probably retest on, because you can't always spot that order block on that 15-minute time frame. You have to go lower on a lower time frame for you to be able to spot it. If you are taking entries or price is creating breaks of structure on a 4-hour time frame or on 1 hour time frame, you don't always have to take all your analysis or your trades on 1 hour time frame. You always have to go down to either 30 minutes time frame or 15-minute time frame or even the 5-minute time frame for you to be able to spot that order blocks or breaker blocks that price will probably retest on. Because while price is in that particular trend, sometimes it might ignore some order blocks or breaker blocks. That's if price is moving in a fast movement, like price is in a rush for that week, it might ignore that order block and keep going higher. But in the future, price will eventually come back again for that order block and that breaker block. So it's always advisable to use multiple time frames while using this strategy. So now, how will you be able to spot that order block there? You have to go down to a lower time frame, a 1 minute time frame. So now, if you should trace that back 1 minute time frame, you can clearly see the order block there. You can clearly see the order block there, and you see price retested just at the beginning of that order block, and you see price pushing to the upside, creating multiple breaks of structure, just like that, creating multiple breaks of structure. You see price first did the after this first retest here, you see price break above this previous high, creating the first market structure shift on the lower time frame. And what next? Price came back for the order block here. Price came back for that order block here. After the, remember what from the chart, from those patterns I showed you, after the market structure shift, if there's no valid breaker block, price will just go for the order block first. It will just go for the order block and take out previous side. So now from that, this is the first break of structure. This is the first break of structure. First break of structure. So now from this okay, let me clear that out. From this break of structure here, what do you observe? There's a valid breaker block. Let me mark that out straight. There's a valid breaker block here, an order block that got violated. There's a valid breaker block there, and also on this low there's a valid order block there. But since price is moving on a fast run, or price, let's say price is moving in a fast way, price ignored this order block, but instead price used the breaker block first. And what did I say? If price ignored an order block, it will eventually come back again for that order block in the future. So now price ignored the order block and used the breaker block instead, meaning the order block is unmitigated, or the order block hasn't been triggered yet. So now you see price create another break of structure. Yeah. Sorry. Price created another break of structure. Kept on creating break of structure just like that. Kept going to the upside. Kept going to the upside, creating multiple breaks of structure in order to take out the previous high. Because when using a breaker block, price will use the breaker block to take out previous high. So you see price creating multiple breaks of structure just like that, up to this point where price created the final break of structure here. Price created the final break of structure there. Then you see price now push to the downside, breaking below this previous low here. So automatically that has turned into a market structure shift. So now let's move to an higher time frame. So that has automatically turned into a market structure shift. And you see price now come back again for the order block, which is this. Price came back again for that order block. Then you see price kept pushing after the retest on the order block. See price push to the downside, creating multiple break of structure just like that to the downside. See price creating multiple breaks of structure, just like that to the downside. And that was how I was able to get this order setup here. But I didn't take this particular trade because I was very busy today. So I was able to get that setup. Remember, from this point on the 1 minute time frame, let's go back again on the 1 minute time frame. Okay, on the 1 minute time frame, after the market structure shift here, remember I told you price used this breaker block. It used this breaker block here and it ignored this order block here, meaning the order block is still valid and it's unmitigated here, or price hasn't retested on it yet. So price will eventually come back again for that order block in the future. So that's why I marked this line and I drew it back again to this other side. And you see price again came back to that order block. It tested on the order block. Then you see price push to the upside, creating multiple breaks of structure to the upside. So after that, this is the first pullback, breaking above this high. So this is also a market structure shift again. So you always have to follow the trend. You don't have to trade against the trend. When each time you open your chart every day, always try to know if like the particular trend of the day. You don't have to just look at the chart and just say, okay, I'm going for a sell or I'm going for a buy. So you just always have to follow the trend of the day. Check if price is still going to continue on that particular trend. Check if price has created a market structure shift, and also know if price is creating multiple breaks of structure, just like that. So now this is the first pullback, market structure shift. This is the first break of structure here. This is the first break of structure.